Welcome back to this week's episode of Success Through Connections, and I'm your host, Zelda. And today's guest is Jaclyn Strominger, and I'm going to tell you how we got connected very simply. I was looking on LinkedIn, looking for people who could talk about referrals and making connections, and her profile just really stood out. I just said, pick me, pick me.
So you did.
So I did. Exactly. So I did. So I called her up. We had a little conversation and I learned so much about Jaclyn. It was just phenomenal. So let me tell you a little bit about her and then we'll get right into the show. So she is I would call her the networking guru. She's all about leadership and personal transformation. She is an author of the book called Charting True North, and it's a leadership book. And she's also the co-founder of an organization that I really want to talk about today called Missing Link Network. It's all about how you get referrals and network through to get those referrals and doing it in a little bit of a different way as a mastermind. So we're really going to get into that today. And because you know how I am, I believe that it's through your connections that you're successful. So thank you for being here with us today, Jaclyn. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you, Zelda, so much. And I just so loved our pre-conversation, and I'm so thankful that you invited me on to be a guest. So thank you.
I'm happy to have you. It's like, yeah, it's a win-win. It's a win for everybody. That's what we like, everybody to be a winner. So first of all, we're going to talk about the Missing Link Network. So I would like to know what it was that sparked the interest to start this organization or this group, and what would you say is the mission of the group?
So Missing Link Network is actually, it's a company now. We are a actual true LLC. So what spawned this is, and why we created Missing Link Network. At the end of the day, I have basically, I truly that networking and connections are the way to grow businesses. And growing a business is something that happens where you grow profits and as your business, but you also have to grow as an individual. And there are so many times that we are networking, we're involved in these groups, and unfortunately, what ends up happening is that we might ask what our business is, or we might ask what our business needs, but we're not really getting a deep understanding as to all the inner workings of the person, the business, and what drives them both. And so Missing Link Network came out of the idea that how can we make weekly networking groups more effective and efficient, where the relationships are deeper so that people truly can really make great connections and referrals, but also that time that we're together, we're learning about each other's businesses and we're learning about our own and ways that we can grow. So how do we bring that all together? So we created Missing Link Network, which is really a mastermind approach to networking, where each week we call them links, and we have different hubs. Our link members focus on topics that we've presented so that they can grow about their people. They get to know each other better. They can talk about profit. So what's something in their business that they can learn about and focus on? And progress, or who do we need to link with to grow the hub and grow each other? And so the whole idea really is we are creating hubs that not only create a sales force, but create a board of directors where you can mastermind and connect and grow your business.
So the group, they act as their own little springboard board of directors to help one another. So what types of topics are y'all going to be talking about?
So each month we kind of talk about different things. So for the month of June, where we actually decided, okay, we have three different kind of buckets. So people, that's where we get to know each other personally. The people portion was, we asked all of our hubs to talk about, what did you want to do when you were growing up? What was that profession? How does that relate to what you are doing now? Is there a correlation? It's fascinating. So people get to know each other. The profit portion is really working on your business. We talked about how can you slay your day? How can you make your day more effective and efficient? what were the 7 tips that you could look at that is going to make your day more efficient? And then on the progress portion, we actually brought up how can you use LinkedIn to not only grow this hub, but also grow your business? How can you use that as a tool for both? And so, we opens up discussion, and it's amazing what you learn about people's business, what they do. Fascinating part about the progress portion was so many people hadn't updated their LinkedIn profile in a while, right? And so it was kind of like right? And so we then looked at each other's profiles
Yes.
and said, how can we help you look at, it was like a little bit of an analysis, like, okay, it would be like me looking at your profile and saying, okay, Zelda, I'm looking at your business and I don't see blah, 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 blah. So we actually helped each other with that. And so you've got this you've got, a board of directors that's all coming together. Our hubs have, 15, 21 plus people in them, and they're all looking and working together to help each other grow. And like, you got 20 people look your LinkedIn profile saying, oh, here's what I like. Here,
Yeah, that's brilliant.
you know,
I love that. I love the idea that you're saying, let's look at our LinkedIns, because I go to LinkedIn all the time. And it amazes me at sometimes you're looking at what they say they do and you're like, I don't quite get it. So having somebody else's opinion saying, I'm not sure what you're trying to say, because I know what you do, but
Right.
this doesn't quite sound like it. Or you can't find a real contact information. You'd be surprised at the number of people who do not put their contact. How do you want people to reach you if you're not putting your contact information in there? So,
Right. And so that was June. So just to give you an idea, July, because we're focused on business, July is the halfway point, right?
right.
Of the year, right? It's the start of Q3.
Yeah.
So we basically every quarter we say, okay, guess what? This is a reflection month. Okay, under people. In the beginning of January, we set goals for what you wanted to do personally, what you wanted to do in your business, and what we wanted the hub to do. And so this is a time to reflect. Where are you on your personal goals? Where are you on your professional goals with your business? Where are we with the hub goals? So it's a reflection time. And what we like to do and why we do this is so many times we as business owners forget to do something, and that is take the time to measure, monitor, and adjust. And when we get together at these hubs, we get the time to not only work in our business, but we're working on our business.
Yes, that's so important. So tell me, Jaclyn, what makes a mastermind approach different from your typical networking events, that a networking group that's meeting in person, so to speak? What makes them so different?
What makes us, there's a couple of things that make us different. Number one, we're not just sharing if you go to a regular networking event, people are just connecting willy-nilly with different people, right? And some people at networking events are major card givers. They don't really want to get to know you. They just want to give you their card, say who they are, move on to the next person, right? No. So what we're doing here is that, and then weekly networking groups, a lot of weekly networking groups, get together. And again, nothing against them. It's standing up and sharing what your elevator pitch is, maybe sharing some of your, you're asking for something, but you don't spend the time getting to know them. So what Missing Link does is that we really focus on people getting to know each other better, that profit portion. So we're really helping you work together on your business, and we're growing the hub together. So so that really sets us apart, that mastermind approach to networking, because we're really getting deeper connections. And on top of that, we actually developed and created Missing Link Network as with a reward program built in, so that when you refer somebody into any of our Missing Link Network hubs, we say thank you financially.
Gotcha.
So we're actually developing a point system, because we do know that some businesses cannot take financial, right, gratification or get that payment. So we're developing a point system, so that point system actually can get transferred either go back into the repay, for your membership, or maybe you want to turn it into buy some swag, or maybe down the road, you want to actually take that money and donate it to a charity. Or maybe you want to give it to somebody who's just starting their business and can't afford the membership. So lots of different ways that you can move those points into something. But we wanted right at the bat, right at the get-go, for people coming into Missing Link Network to be able to reap a reward for referring people in to any of our hubs.
Now, do they join all the hubs or they just go to one hub, or how does that work?
There typically somebody joins one particular hub, right? And so they're going to really get to know those people in that hub. Yes, you can go to the other hubs to visit. One thing that's, like a lot of networking groups, it is one person per profession in each hub. But if you go to another hub, obviously you need to make sure that there isn't somebody else in your same profession. And if there is, we come from a place of abundance. So usually it's okay because we just want people to meet each other and get connected, because we really want people to link together. You and I could be in the exact same profession and find ways to refer each other. It all depends on, right? Like,
Yeah, there's yeah. It's like when a lot of people go to those B&I groups and I'm the realtor, so there can be no other realtor. Well, I can understand that up to a point when you're in the same city, but when you're a globe, what difference would that make? It wouldn't make any difference whatsoever.
right.
The more the merrier. In fact, that's who you would refer them to, someone you knew from the hub.
Right.
That you've
Right.
got.
And so here's the thing, like I'd even said, it's almost okay if somebody else comes in who is of your profession that's checking out the hub or from another hub and say, oh, you know what, Zelda's a realtor and she's the active realtor in this group. And let's say I'm a realtor, and they're going to say, hey, Jaclyn, please meet Zelda. I'd love for you to share with her, to guys talk about how, Zelda, share with Jaclyn how this hub has worked for you.
Yeah. How you for business. Yeah.
Right. Or, Zelda, you might work and, your niche in real estate might be luxury real estate properties. And I might be, I don't want to do the luxury real estate because it's a longer sale. I really want the 400 to, or 300, 200 to 600. Right. So maybe it is a way we can work together. We want people to think of abundance, right? There's so much business to be around. Yes, I'm not going to join the hub if you're in it, but I can still walk into the hub and you could help me figure out which hub might be the right fit, or if it is the right fit in general.
So what role does accountability play in?
Yes, that's actually a good part, because I didn't share that part. That's also one of the things that really does make us different. And thank you for bringing that up. So each week, one of the things that we do with our hubs is that we actually assign accountability partners. So if you're in the hub, when you're, let's say, looking at people, there's going to be a little something that we're going to say, okay, this week, Jaclyn and Zelda, you are two of the accountability partners this week. And you guys are going to work together on whatever that piece is. When it comes to the profit portion, you're going to be like, okay, now we're working together on profit. What do I need you to hold me accountable to for this week for my business? And so that's the key thing that also really makes us different, is that we bring in accountability into each of the hubs and each of our links.
That's really good. So how do you help the members build those genuine, trust-based relationships?
We are helping as we call them, our links do that. When you walk into one of our hubs, if the hub is, let's just say it has 15 people in the hub, we're going to break out each week into smaller groups. And one group is going to focus on people, one group is going to focus on profit, and one group is going to focus on progress. You stay with the same group the whole month. And then, if I started one week in profit, the next week I'm going to go to progress. So you rotate. So the way that we actually help people get to know each other better is because of these deeper conversations and smaller subsets, and we rotate. It's not like you don't get to choose who your group is either. At the beginning of the month, you're given a card and that tells you what group you're going to be in. So you're rotating and you're getting to know people throughout the year with your hub each week it's a different group. I mean, each month it's a different focus group that you're going to be with, and you're going to be talking about different things. So you're getting to know people on a deeper level so that I really get to know who is going to be the best person I can refer to Zelda. Who's the best person that I can refer to Jaclyn? Because I'm getting to know you on a deeper level.
So while you're getting to know them, do you have like a maximum amount of people per group? Because there's new people joining all the time.
Yeah. So we actually try to keep all of our hubs to under 30.
Okay. That's a good number though. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we don't want it to be too big because we do want to create that intimacy, between people. And, you know, it really does matter. I mean, like, I'll just share an example. Last week in one of our hubs, one of the guys is a marketing coach, meaning what he does, the word coach is overused a lot, but he really helps people with their branding and helping people kind of work on what they need to do each week to focus on getting their sense of authority out there. And flat out said, because of Missing Link Network, I've brought on 3 new clients in just a month. And it's authentic, right? Now, is that going to happen every month? No. But as he said, these are 3 clients that all came from referrals and connections in this hub because I've gotten together. People know me. People know the work I can do because I'm sharing it weekly and monthly with different groups. So, he joined 4 months ago. This is a group that you're connected with, weekly and monthly. Are you going to get referrals from day one? No, I'm sorry to say. If you do, great. You might be the electrician, or you might be the realtor that'd be, oh my God, I need a realtor. Right. But don't count on it. Right. But it's as you build those deeper relationships, these people, yes, they can become friends, but they're your business allies.
yes.
These are the people that you can go to and say, oh my God, Zelda, you're in this group. It's not just who do you know, but I'm looking for, or how can I help you?
It's making connections. Yeah.
It's making those connections.
It reminds me of a group that I just recently stopped leading after 8 years, a group that I facilitated, and we always had consistently anywhere between 18 to 25 members. And when you're doing that on a monthly basis or weekly, you do get to know the people and they will refer. But the thing that I like to tell people, especially new business owners, is the people that you're meeting in networking groups, they may not be the ones who are your clients. However, they're the ones who are going to tell their friends and their friends, and that's how you're going to get them. It's not that they're going to be the client, but they're going to be the ones who refer someone to you. So get to know them.
Yeah. And you create this level of, because, we've asked questions like, on the personal side, things like, where do you want a vacation? What do you like to eat? What do you like to cook? What do you like to read? So we're really getting to know you on a level that is just beyond the handshake of business. And we're really, what matters is that, like, I'll just keep using the word, realtor, for example. I might know 2 realtors, right?
Or 10.
And one, right? Because we usually know a few, and I might meet somebody and be like, oh, you know what? As much as I love Zelda, this person they're going to clash. Like, their personalities are going to clash.
Exactly. Yes, I totally understand that. Yes.
Right. And so I could say, you know what? I know a couple of realtors. I think X realtor is going to be a lot better for you because of personality wise. And I mean, Zelda is Zelda's your woman. She's going to be the best person for you based on your personalities, how she works, how I get to feel like how you're going to work. So you really get to be able to be a better business matchmaker.
Yes. A business. I love that. Well, speaking of matchmaking, when you're introducing people, what's your philosophy, Jaclyn, on, let's say, giving versus the asking in networking?
Okay, so first of all, I had the honor of having Bob Berg, who is the ultimate go-giver,
He's
on
going to
my
be on an
podcast.
upcoming show. Yes, yes.
Good, right. So he's awesome. So he was on my podcast. So if you have not read his books, make sure that you listen to Zelda's episode of that and get his books.
Yes.
But I always look at when I meet people, I don't think about me and I don't think about Missing Link Network. I don't think about my business, or my book. I think about how can I help the person in front of me with their business? What do they need? And so I'll give you a really total real life example that just happened last week. I sat down for coffee with a woman that I had met. One of the things that Missing Link Network does, we also do a monthly general networking event called Third Tuesday. So she was at one of our Third Tuesdays. I met her. We finally were able to sit down and have coffee. And she actually has two businesses. And so we were talking about her first business where she invented something. You can look at it. It's called Peep No More. Really cool. Something for rooms at major stadiums. So she was sharing some of the things. And I said, I have some people to connect you with. And I'm asking her about what she needs in her business. So when the end of the day came, I went home and I did my follow-up and I connected her with one of my friends who does logistics, one of my friends who has a metal company to make a metal part, and I connected her with another person who all of a sudden I just blanked, but it was three different people, right? And more than anything, because I was just happy to do it. That fills my cup. If I could connect people knowing that I have helped somebody, maybe I've made their life a little bit easier because they don't have to maybe reduce their search for something.
That's a gift. That's a giver.
Right. Right. And so I love to give. And I ask, I asked that, before I connected her with the metal stamping guy, hey, friend, are you taking on new clients? I have this person. If you are, could I make the connection? Ask ahead, right? My friend Steve, who does logistics. Hey, Steve, picked up the phone, called in. Hey, I've got this woman. Here's what she's looking for. Can I make the connection? Ask.
Yes.
Don't just assume, but ask. And it makes it so the connection's a little bit deeper and it makes it so that when they do, it's obviously a lot warmer.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Right? 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 And so some
Nobody
people like
wants
the
a cold call.
Right. Right. Some people just like the reference to say, oh, you know what, Zelda referred me or Jaclyn referred me. I'm reaching out to you, blah, blah, blah. But when you could actually take it down.
Weight, let's face it,
Right.
it carries more weight. You're going to
Right.
take the call.
Right. So you might leave a message. And so, so and that I mean, to me, I kid around, if I can help somebody in their business, that just fills again, it's not that it's about filling my cup, but come on, it puts a smile on my face. I would rather know that somebody said, yeah, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel really
What's
good.
wrong with that? You don't need to apologize for making yourself feel good.
But the key thing is I'm not expecting anything. It's like, make sure that you give without an expectation.
Yes.
You're not asking for anything in return. I got my return. My return was my cup being full.
Yeah, that's a great analogy for it. So there's so many ways to network and the world has been changing so rapidly. How do you see the future of networking evolving, especially when we've got all this hybrid digital and in-person physical world that we have? How do you envision seeing that?
It's a great question. So I do think that there is a hybrid model out there. Like, even us with Missing Link Network, we will have some virtual networking hubs evolve into and I eventually see us doing some things where we are maybe doing something virtual and something in person. That there's got to be kind of some combination thereof. But I do think because we are such a global society, that we still have to find a way to bring people together in person. The virtual is because I can, and you and I cannot physically be in the same place today because I'm in a different side of the world, right? Like, so, you know, and so there is that combination of the virtual and the in person. But I would say that I truly believe that we still need to have that in person. It, that in person meeting to shake somebody's hand, or in my case, because I'm a hugger, to give somebody a hug. Because I mean, I may have just met you, but I'm still going to give you a hug. Sorry if you don't like to hugs.
That's me. I go up to people ready to hug them. And I go, "Oh, I'm a hugger. Is that okay?"
Right.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Too late.
But it's so important to shake people's hands and to meet face to face. We never want to lose that. And I think some people forget that there, again, the virtual world is when you're meeting on Zoom or Teams or name your platform, it's a good, it's an okay alternative, but it's not the absolute substitution. You still at some point need to have virtual connections.
Yeah.
I mean, in-person connections. Those in-person connections really matter.
So when you're out there networking, what mistake or maybe one big mistake that you see people making all the time that you wish they just stopped doing?
They throw up on people. They throw up on each other. Not virtual, not really. No, they don't really throw up on each other. But it's not about your business,
It's the
right?
yes.
It's the other person's business. And I see it all the time. If you're going to a networking event, if I can impress upon anything, think of 5 questions that you can ask before you walk in, that you can ask somebody that has nothing to do with their business. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you're going to a networking event and it happens to be at a wine bar. So, hey, Zilda, how are you? My name's Jaclyn. Do you even drink wine?
No. I am such a non-drinker. It's like, you put me at the wine. But I do drink champagne every now and then because I have a girlfriend who that's all she drinks is champagne. And every time I go to dinner with her and her husband or with anyone, she's always ordering champagne, and I'm always going to have some champagne with her.
Well, that's great. So so then you might say, I know that this wine bar has a sparkling rosé. You might want to try it, right? I mean,
But if you were somebody at a wine bar, you'd ask them something that had nothing to do with, hey, what is it that you do?
Right. 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 The first thing that, you hear people do it all the time, and it just makes me cringe. Hi, I'm Jaclyn. I'm a high performance leadership coach, and I'm the founder of Missing Link Network. What do you do?
Oh.
Right. Gag me with a pitchfork. I'm sorry. Seriously.
I want to say, oh my gosh, those are some great earrings you're wearing.
Right. Or, hi, I'm Jaclyn. Oh my God. I love your shirt. I love you well. So, and you can sit around like fun, right? Like you can say something fun, right? Have fun. Like the biggest thing, so do you come here often? I mean, as funny as that may be or whatever, as goofy.
Yeah.
Think of and remember the 5 questions. I mean, and this is something that is, I'm not the first person to come up with this. It has been, I don't know who the first said it. Maybe it was even Zig Ziglar. Who knows who said it? But 5 questions that you can ask somebody to get to know them, about them, their family. Maybe it's their favorite colors. Ask key questions or think of things that you can be asking them. And then the other key thing is these things, use them. Use your ears to listen. You just said, and when I asked you about wine, you're like, no, I don't. I drink sparkling. Oh, you heard that. So don't try to think of questions, listen to what the person is saying, and don't just think of the question while they're speaking. Let them finish. Pauses are okay too.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great advice. That's great advice. Very good. The 5. I usually tell people to come up with 3, but 5 is even better if you can remember. I could never remember the 5.
Well, it's right. It's almost more like
doing your homework.
Right. Well, it's thinking of think about where you're walking into, thinking about the networking event that you're going to, thinking about things that you might be able to ask somebody that's standing in front of you that, you know, if you're at a networking event, it's like, hey, so, we're at this networking event. What brings you here?
Yeah.
What do you
Have you heard this
like?
before?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Or have you been
So
to
that's
any of
not a
these
really good
before?
one because that's a yes or a no answer. So
Right.
that's
Right.
not really the best one.
Right. You know, you could even, so you're here to network. So I'm curious what other, like, okay, so you're here. How many of these have you been to them before? I'd love to get your opinion. Like, what have you thought of them? So you're asking them about their opinion. So it's not just a yes or no. Or you can also ask like, oh, so great. I'm so glad that you shared that with me. What other networking events do you attend? Right? Like,
Yes.
So I was at an event last week and I was talking to this woman. I walked up and I said to her, so what brings you here? It's a great wine bar. And she said, oh, I'm not really here to network. I'm like, so I came here for a friend. And she launched in a nurse. She said she was a nurse, anesthetist. I can't say that word right now, at a gastroenterology location here. And we had the whole conversation about not just about GI, but like putting people to sleep. I mean, I didn't even just right.
That would have been a funny conversation. What do people say when they're falling out?
Right. I mean, it was really quite funny. I'm sure you've heard some funny things. You probably could write a book, right?
That's funny. So I understand that the missing link network is obviously mostly or pretty much all an in-person event. So what is your mission or I shouldn't say your mission, but what's your vision for the missing link network, say in the next 5 years?
So next 5 years, Missing Link Network, our vision is to have hubs across the United States and hopefully starting to be worldwide. And our vision is to have summits where people can get together and have all of our links together so that we're coming together in person. And because we are a global society, we will also have virtual online events that people can log into and participate in.
Very good. That's a good goal and you'll get there. So yes.
We will get there. We will get there. Yeah.
So if every listener that was listening today walked away from this conversation that we're having with just what mindset a shift about networking, what would you want that to be?
I would want people to think about how they can help others. When you're networking, think about ways that you can help others. It's not about you. Walk into a room, put your baggage behind you, walk in with a smile on your face, create that right vibe, and think about how you can help the people that you're talking to.
Yes, very good. Be the giver. Be the giver.
Be the giver. Be the giver.
Well, we're just about out of time. I love this subject, but we are. So I want to ask you one last question. It is my signature question that I ask every single guest. And that is, if you could share a story with our audience today about a time when an opportunity presented itself to you because of a connection that you had, or that you were able to connect someone else because of an opportunity. You knew somebody that you could connect some people with.
I shared the story about the girl that I had coffee with, but I would actually share with you that Missing Link Network actually came out of a connection. So I met my co-founder at a networking event, and through a conversation and through follow-ups, we realized that we had a mutual passion. And Missing Link Network was born a year after our first meeting.
Very good. Yeah.
You just never know, right? And I'll just actually share another one. So I literally had somebody connect me with another person. I can't remember who connected us, but this gentleman literally reached out and connected me with Bob Berg and Jeff West. And then, so you just don't know.
Yeah. That happened to me recently. a fellow I was looking for the show. It ended up when we were talking, we knew that he didn't align with the show and neither did I, but boy, was he gold because he introduced me to so many others that were perfect fits for the show. So, reach out to people. Well,
Right.
Jaclyn, thank you so much for your time today. This has been so wonderful to have you as a guest today. And so that's the show for today. And just for our audience, just to keep remembering that success doesn't happen in isolation. It happens because of the connections that you have. So keep reaching out and keep connecting.